The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Crossed Flags, a racing podcast. It's your midweek fix for racing news and information. Brought to you by the Championship Racing Network. Now let's head trackside to join your hosts, Steve West and Matt Nicholson.
Welcome in to the latest edition of Crossed Flags. Our weary world traveler, John Myers, producer John, has returned just in time to get everything taken care of. And our coughing person in the other picture there is one Matt Nicholson. Hi there, I'm Steve West. Appreciate you joining us here as we will get to a little bit later on a preview of what will be coming up on Wednesday morning during the Dixon and Vining Show, which that guy right there is going to be co-hosting. Yeah, Matt Nicholson, tomorrow morning, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, Real Talk 99.5 TV. You know that place that you saw the big show last weekend. So I got a preview of the Steve Stern for tomorrow. We are also going to talk about some little exhibition event that the NHRA put on called King of the Nitro. This weekend, we will talk a lot more about plenty of other things. There's always something to get to. I mean, let's face it. There's always something to talk about. Indianapolis was host to the first test of the IR-28. We'll give you the review of what the people feel like or the two drivers at least that took part in it, and what they thought about the new car in its first ever on-track run. And Formula E had to make a change to their 2026, 2027 schedule already. They still have the same number of races. They just moved a date. So we'll tell you about that as well. Yep. But first, we want to go back and we want to talk about what we had talked about a little bit before Matt had to leave on Saturday during the big show. And that was a report on The Athletic done by Jordan Bianchi talking about what he apparently is hearing about the 2028 NASCAR schedule. And some of it makes sense. We'd heard previously that Watkins Glen was going to go back from the spring to the fall and was going to move into the chase, things like that. You and I did have the chance to do a quick rundown. This is the weird part of it, though. But this is probably more a quirk on the calendar than anything else, because we have heard nothing, for example, about the Southern 500 moving off of Labor Day. And that would be heresy anyway. We know that this is one of those traditions that just works so well for Darlington. And right. Going back now a decade, it has been a sellout. Right. So that is one of the most consistently sold out races and one of the consistent sellouts of tracks. So they're not taking it off of Labor Day weekend. It just so happens that by quirk of the way that the calendar appears to work for 2027, that it appears the Southern 500 actually will not be the leadoff race of the chase. It'll be the final race of the regular season. Is that better? I mean, of all the things that we could do, it does seem a little weird that Daytona, which is such a wild card race, is still the anchor leg on the regular season.
Yeah, excuse me there. I actually think this will be a little bit better. And the reason because you're not putting things into the hands of just sheer luck and fate. You're putting it back into the hands of the driver sitting behind the 5-point harness, right, and their team.
Yeah.
There's more strategy play into it, and you're not putting it into sheer luck and sheer fate.
Yeah, and of course we've gotten rid of, as of this year, winning you're in, so it's less likely that somebody from, say, 20th to 36th in the standings could just suddenly pop up and claim a one-off win and get themselves into the chase. Winning your in's out. We're into the playoffs now. It's all about points, really, more than anything else, and about being consistent over the course of the year. So that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I don't, it is, truth be told, the happy medium. We're not going to get rid of this 10 race set of races that NASCAR has set aside.
Right.
To go back to the way that it used to be 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
So this is really, it's about the best you're going to get. It's the best compromise you're going to get in the fact that it makes the points mean that much more. So we got that. What else do we know here? We know that Richmond, it does appear, and again, this is by the report from Jordan Bianchi. Richmond appears to be back in. New Hampshire appears to be back in to the playoffs. One of those that gets replaced was Worldwide Tech Raceway at Gateway. But here's the situation for me on this. Not that Worldwide Tech Raceway at Gateway is considered to be an intermediate track necessarily, not in the Kansas, Charlotte, Las Vegas mindset.
Right.
But we haven't really perfected the short track package here. And now all of a sudden we're getting Richmond and New Hampshire in there. Bristol will move out. It'll go back to an August night, which is the way that it was ever since they finally put lights up at Bristol way back in 1976.
Right.
So I don't really have a problem with that going back to its origins. But again, we haven't perfected the short track package here. That's arguably the weakest part of this Gen 7 package.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of it looks like the way the trade-off looks like it's going to be, is it's going to be Bristol trading off for Richmond, and it looks like Gateway trading off for New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Gateway for New Hampshire, I don't see where the benefit is of that, because you got one snoozer to another snoozer.
I'll say this, and the sad thing is that the attraction here, depending on exactly what date it falls on,
right?
To me, the biggest attraction to this is potentially kind of like you were talking about, not the race itself, but when they start looking at the track from like the blimp or a high up drone or a helicopter or whatever, being able to see all the foliage turning in New England, potentially in October when it's at its best.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there in that time frame, and it is picturesque, no doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful mosaic of colors, but like you said, the race in and of itself, questionable. Yeah. I mean, and probably one of the reasons why it's only 300 laps.
True. Very true.
But
very, very true.
So I don't know. Again, we're waiting on confirmation for this. I don't know when we're going to get confirmation from NASCAR. Maybe later on this month, in the month of August, probably more likely next month sometime, right about maybe the same time that we get ready to actually get into the playoffs, or a little after.
Well, there's been today, I've seen just recently, just a little bit ago, I've seen some other tracks that are cementing all of their dates already for the schedule for 2027. So that tells me that things are falling into place. It's just when everything falls into place.
So we're probably getting closer. It's just a matter of days, not weeks, maybe. The one other quirk that's on, two other quirks, I guess we should say. All-Star race at Dover, not really the best of ideas. You and I said that at the beginning. So they're moving it away from that. They're apparently taking it back to North Wilkesboro. At least that's the point. That's what Jordan Bianchi says, which means that we end up moving back away from a point state at North Wilkesboro. Good or bad idea?
I don't see where it's good or where it is bad, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because what showed from Wilkesboro a few weeks ago was classic North Wilkesboro. It doesn't matter if it's repaved or paved. It was a classic North Wilkesboro race. The leader gets out front. The leader dominates 80 to 85% of the race and laps 32 of the 37 cars.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that's classic North Wilkesboro. So
now,
why are we trying to cater and bow down to the other people? Oh, we want Wilkesboro back at the points race. You got it back. You got classic North Wilkesboro back.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden we're shifting. There's this motion note. It started by several people of the media, Bianchi being one of them. Should Wilkesboro have a points race?
Yeah.
Should Dover?
Yeah.
I mean, neither one of them was top shelf. Let's call it that.
But North Wilkesboro at least can claim a sellout.
Exactly. Yeah, I do not care if that racetrack only has 38,000 seats. It's still a sellout.
Yeah, sellout's a sellout. And we did have somebody when we were talking about that after the North Wilkesboro points event on the big show. And we had a text message come across that
Right.
literally asked the question, why would we put a points race there when there's no infrastructure there? Well, not having the infrastructure, in other words, the hotel spots, didn't seem to hurt them since they put the place back into action. They've sold out.
No. I mean, because the reason the infrastructure is like it is because the location of the track,
Mhm.
unless you've been on the grounds and seen what's around it, I would pause on judgment.
And again, people are going there. People are traveling to go see it. They're willing to do it.
You had a truck race that was probably 90% sold.
Which that's an impressive feat when you talk about it.
That's
Because,
nothing to turn a blind eye at.
you know,
90%
how many
of
times
the-
have we been able to say that when it comes to any truck series at any truck series race at any track?
When I went to that truck race there last year, hard sellout.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day.
But we don't get to say that about the truck series at almost any other track. It's North Wilkesboro.
The Cars Tour race of all races was 85% full on a Friday night.
Exactly. So the demand for tickets is there. But again, this is old school racing. This is the kind of racing that we saw back when people like Ned Jarrett win a race by 14 laps. I mean,
Right.
you get one driver who gets out there and they get the car locked in and they're gone and nobody can touch them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, in this case, like you said, all but 4 or 5 cars ended up at least one lap down, if not more.
It right now, the way the All-Star race, well, they change it every year. It
Sure,
seems like
the
now.
format slightly changes.
But the format that it was when I went up there last year
Mhm.
seemed to really fit the characteristics of the track really, really well.
It helped keep things a little bit tighter and a little bit more dramatic. And
Yeah,
that's
because
the point.
All-Star race was 250 laps. Cup race was 450 laps.
Yeah.
200 more laps makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, it does.
So
And without as many breaks. The other thing that we are hearing that just came down, and we'll go ahead and deal with that here, and we won't deal with it on Saturday during the big show, is they're taking the Clash away from Bowman Gray. And they're moving it back to Daytona. And I don't know whether this is because they flipped out because the weather was so weird and such a wild card at Bowman Gray, or whether this was something that had been in the works for a little while. But the Clash, which was at Daytona for many, many years, creating speed weeks, is now back at Daytona. We're waiting to find out what the official schedule is going to be to see exactly how all of these dates work. But moving the Clash back to Daytona, is that a good idea? Because I have already heard some people complaining about it, saying that they don't care to go see an exhibition race at a track where they're about to see a points race.
for those people that say that, shut up. I mean, just shut up.
Yeah. If you don't want to go, don't go.
Actually, I can tell you because I did see the actual dates.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. So.
The All-Star race, the All-Star race,
Mm.
the Clash will be on February 13th. The day
So they
before
are
the
going to
Super
run
Bowl.
it Super Bowl weekend. Okay.
Day before the Super Bowl.
All right.
And the second part of Speed Weeks will begin the 17th through the 21st, with the 500 being on 21st.
Condense
And
everything down. Yeah.
And the fall
Which is about
race,
right.
Yeah, and the late summer race will fall August 27th and August 28th.
So that's about the same weekend. So it'll be the weekend before Darlington on the Southern 500. It's just like we said, the way that the calendar for 2027 works and the way that the NASCAR is going to be scheduling these things, it's just going to happen that the chase will begin the weekend after Darlington.
Right, and then Echo Park dropped their dates as well.
Okay.
They are set. They will be February 27th and 28th for the spring/winter.
Mm-hmm.
And the summer race will fall on July 17th and 18th because both races, both cup races are still 400 miles.
Okay.
In the spring, it will be a triple header still with the trucks and O'Reilly running on the 27th. But for the summer race, there's a little bit of a twist.
Go for it.
The Craftsman Truck Series will be there on Saturday.
Not the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
So now the Craftsman Truck Series now has technically 4 speedway races.
Okay. Intriguing. And by the way, that's a Saturday, Sunday. So again, we're going to get Atlanta on a Sunday night, like we did earlier this year.
Yep.
Hot.
Understatement.
Yeah, hot either way. I mean, the sun going down, that's one thing. Those summer pop-up showers that shot that race into 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was.
Something like that.
Yeah. I may or not make that one next year unless I take that Monday off.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. It's weird the way that the schedule kind of plays out. We'll see how it all works.
Yep.
In the grand scheme of things, and hopefully we'll get a finalized schedule, like I said, within a matter of days as opposed to a matter of weeks. Right. And of course, we'll run it down in its complete entirety and dissect it to its fullest, more than likely on the big show, once we do get that. Round number 2 of a 3-round cross flags, the third round being a very, very short one. Round number 2, there was an exhibition over the weekend. Weird little quirk in the 2026 schedule in the fact that of all the series that we cover, no race scheduled last weekend.
Right.
But the NHRA put on an exhibition show called King of the Nitro.
Basically like their all-star race.
Yeah. No points, just kind of bragging rights here. And you and I have talked in the past about the differences in speed between Top Fuel and Funny Car.
Right.
And how those gaps have closed.
Yeah.
Now, looking at our picture here, and a very nice job of placing our Crossed Flags logo in a really, really great spot by producer John. That's just perfect. It's almost like it's actually on the asphalt there. Yeah. Nice job, producer John. But you can begin to see exactly how different these cars are.
Yep.
Because, you see a Top Fuel dragster line up against a Top Fuel dragster, you go, okay, they're this long, and we kind of get that. Put a Funny Car against a Funny Car, and you don't really understand exactly how much longer a Top Fuel car is as opposed to a Funny Car.
Oh, yeah. Big difference.
It's a much bigger difference than what most people think. But what you're looking at here is a Ron Capps team car against a Ron Capps team car. Ron Capps on the left side, as we're looking at the picture from the top, and his Top Fuel Wonder Maven in Matty Gordon over there on the right side. You would expect on a head-to-head matchup that, probably it would be close, but you'd give the edge to the Top Fuel car. But apparently the NHRA decided that they were going to do a handicap.
Yeah, and I was dumbfounded by it because they gave Ron Capps an 1800th jump on the tree.
You could make up that difference in a reaction time.
Yeah, you easily could. Easily could. Now,
but why do it in the first place?
I don't know. But because they probably knew that Matty Gordon was probably going to knock his walk off.
But that's what we're there to see. If you're going to put these two cars up there, I want to see it up to the driver. This isn't bracket racing here. Let's put these two head to head.
I got it right here how it was. They give it to Ron Capps with the win by virtue of a hole shot. Clearly, he had an 1800th of a second jump on the tree.
So Matty Gordon was faster like to like.
The way they fired off the line, you could tell that the tree stagger messed up Matty Gordon.
Yeah.
Because Capps' reaction time was a 0.45. Her reaction time was a 0.103.
Ouch.
There's your difference.
Yeah.
But from Capps' margin of victory was 0.12860.
So she was faster like to like.
On ET, Capps was a 3.843 at 3:33.91.
Which is actually a little bit slow. Yeah. No, that's about average for a Funny Car.
Just a fraction slower what they ran at Norwalk last month.
Yeah, 334, 335 area.
She hit a 3.733 at 338.09.
So she's edging in on that 340 mile per hour mark that we have seen broken a couple of times late last year and early this year.
She had him ran down.
Yeah.
But The last time they did something like this at Night of Fire, John Force ran against, I can't remember who it was, so against somebody, but they ran the tree heads up.
Yeah.
Force beat the Top Fuel car outright.
And that's what we want to see. I want to see direct head to head. Let's put it on the drivers.
Yeah.
I think that's the better way to do it, truth be told. Don't handicap.
They
Put
would
it on the drivers.
And if Matty Gordon had done that, I mean, the way I took it, Caps won the funny car bracket with who showed up. Gordon won the Top Fuel bracket. That's why they went for the King or Nitro. Or if she would have won it, they'd have said the Queen of Nitro.
True. Yeah.
That's how that was. But I've let the tree go heads up. Don't give Caps a handicap. No pun intended.
Right.
Run them heads up because they're basically running the same identical engine, 12,000 horsepower.
Right.
So let them go.
Yeah, let them go. Let them go after each other head to head. Stop handicapping. Stop doing a bracket race.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't you, me, and John in a 4-wide. With our 3 totally separate vehicles, which run 3 very vastly different times against somebody else who's in another 4th kind of vehicle that runs a totally different time as well, and they're trying to make it as dramatic as they can. I mean, I think you've done bracket racing. I know John and I have.
I've never done it.
Okay. But John and I have. John actually did quite well one time. He actually got I want to say podium trophy, got like 3rd place on that day. So it's been, I know how to bracket race. That's great.
Right.
These guys aren't bracket racers by trade.
Yeah.
And these cars, these vehicles, I guess, for a lack of a better term, instead of saying cars, these vehicles are, as we have talked about, that gap between them is closed down.
Big
Put it
time,
on the drivers, and if the driver in Top Fuel happens to make a mistake and the funny car person wins it, or if it just so happens that the runs turn out that way, then the funny car person's the king. Great. But run them heads up. Yep. By all means. But I think it's a cool thing that they do that. I honestly would love to see them maybe do that 2, maybe 3 times throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right. So
now Steve's turn.
Yeah. Preview. For those of you that don't necessarily listen to the morning show Monday through Friday, Dixon Inviting Morning Show, I'm the producer of that show, like producer John's the producer of this podcast. And I get to do a segment in the 9 a.m. hour, 9 a.m. Central Time, for those of you that are listening in other time zones or, I don't know, maybe even around the world. Hello, Athena. And it's about whatever the heck I want to talk about. Well, I found out that ESPN had decided to do, for charity purposes, an ESPN Jeopardy. All the episodes of ESPN Jeopardy are now available if you get the ESPN app or the Disney app. You can go look at it through that way as well. Disney, Hulu, ESPN, all 3 of them, you can catch this.
Yeah.
And it's like a Celebrity Jeopardy. And Celebrity Jeopardy has evolved because they want to make it a bigger thing and have the celebrities enjoy it more. So instead of 2 rounds and then Final Jeopardy, it's actually 3 rounds and Final Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And they got a whole bunch of ESPN anchors, Sports Center or, NFL Live or, varying shows that are on ESPN throughout the course of the year. And a couple of celebrities, John Hamm, Keegan-Michael Key, who you think, well, what the heck do they know? These 2, among the others, actually quite knowledgeable when it came to sports. I'm not going to give anything away to let you watch it. Well, being sports, what we talk about on this particular show and podcast was a part of it.
Huh.
I'm trying to remember exactly how many questions about racing there were, and I caught questions about NASCAR, about IndyCar, about Formula One, and about the NHRA. So I can guarantee you get at least one question about each and every one of those particular series, okay?
Yeah.
Guess how many they, as a panel, and I'm talking about regardless of who it is that got any question right or wrong, guess how many questions that were asked about racing that the ESPN and celebrity people invited to talk about sports got right?
Goose egg.
Got one.
Oh, one. Ah. Wow.
Got one. So I will talk about that a lot more tomorrow, Wednesday morning, October the 5th, or August the 5th, August the 5th, on the Dixon and Vining morning show during Steve Stern. Because we were underrepresented. And I have an open letter to the fine folks at Jeopardy and ESPN from us here at the Championship Racing Network and Cross Flags. Okay?
And a caveat to where you're talking about John's podium finish. He was second.
Second. Thank you for correcting me, John.
Second.
Thank you for correcting. It's been a while, so I could not quite remember it. But yeah, he walked away with the trophy, which is more than I can say for what I did. I mean, I won rounds, but man, he walked away with the trophy. Way to go.
Hey, hardware is hardware.
Exactly. So good stuff. All right. So that's tomorrow morning. And as far as this weekend, like I said, we'll be talking about Formula E making a schedule change. We'll talk about the early reviews of the IR28 IndyCar. We got a couple of new kids coming in, a couple of new names that'll be behind the wheel of an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series car this weekend when they race at Iowa. We'll tell you about those and all the other news of the week. So make sure that you join us come Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. Our thanks once again to producer John, to producer Molly for all the work that she does, both of them behind the scenes. For Matt Nicholson, my co-host, I'm Steve West. Thank you for checking out this version and this edition of Cross Flags. Subscribe down below and like, would you?
Presentation of the Championship Racing Network.